Hey everyone, it's Grant Winsauer and
Jack Rody.
back here on the Bear Cast, and today we're going to be talking about all the confirmed top 30 visits that the Bears have so far, and that list will grow because it is kind of short right now. But and then we're going to do a mock draft, and we're going to talk about, and then we're also going to talk about what kind of scheme that the Bears will be running on offense. But before we get into that, I have to wish. The guy next to me a happy birthday, and it's his birthday today, and I needed to make sure that I wish my right hand man a happy birthday. So,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, sir.
you
No
have
better way
any
to be spending the birthday.
fun plans tonight?
Might be going out with some friends, but we shall see. Just see where the night takes me. But I
Yeah.
got a good amount of time spent with friends and loved ones this weekend, so made it worth it.
Oh, absolutely. That's great, man. I mean, how does it feel to be 22?
Oh, old.
Yeah, trust me, I feel old, and I'm 21, which
Mm.
isn't much younger than you, but still, I mean, my dad says that he's old, and I mean, still pretty young in his
Mm.
mid 50s. I mean, I qualify old as 65 to 70. But that's neither here nor there. So let's get into the podcast. So we are now 25 days away from night one of the NFL draft. So top 30 visits will begin to take place and lists will build. However, there are things that I don't really like about top 30 visits. Uh, there are 329 prospects in every NFL draft, and 262 of those players actually get drafted. So let's say hypothetically that the Bears have 150 prospects on their big board for the NFL draft. That means that the Bears can only bring in an actual 1/5 of their big board to figure out if they should be on their big draft board. Uh, and I mean, I watched a CHGO podcast a couple days ago, and Adam Hogue and Mark Carman uh, discussed some stuff where Hogue actually made me realize something that people aren't considering. Players are brought into top 30 visits if teams are missing medical records or teams have questions on that certain player. Um, so I mean, it. I just think that number should be bigger because it doesn't seem like you get to know a lot of the prospects that you want to draft if you can only have 30 people into your building. So what are your thoughts on that, Jack?
Yeah, I think it's definitely just kind of due to the compressed timeline of everything.
That's true.
Between the combine right into free agency and then the draft shortly thereafter, I know there's a time limit on when these top 30 visits can happen, and I think it's just hard to bump that number up and still have those meetings be of substance because
Mm-hmm.
it could definitely just turn into people running through and running through. So I think what you mentioned is probably correct. Like a lot of the guys that people bring in are people they are seriously considering and just want to know a couple key details that they're still questioning on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be curious to see what the percentage of like late round draft picks were not top 30 visits, like just drafted by teams who didn't even meet with them. But that's
Right.
for another time. So
Yeah. So let's get into all the reported top 30 visits that we have so far. I mean, the first one is Aston Genty. I mean, this shouldn't come to a surprise to anyone uh, because I think he is like the number one player in this draft, and if he's not, he's definitely top five. Um, Now we have a problem with this. We are at number 10 in the first round, and there are a few teams ahead of us that could use a running back. The two teams that I see being legitimate threats are the Raiders at 6 and the Saints at 9 with an aging Alvin Kamara. Now, between the two teams, I mean, we believe that the more likely team to take him is the Raiders because the Raiders now have Pete Carroll as their head coach, and he loves to run the ball. Aside from the fact that he decided to pass it when the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, I'm sorry that I brought that up. It's just it haunts me to this day when you're at the 1 yard line and you have Marshawn Lynch and you do not pass it or give him the ball. the Raiders need a big time running back, and they are in prime position to get their running back of the future. However, if the Bears are that high on Genty, and his top 30 visit with the Bears was confirmed at the combine, so they are high on him, I'd at least be willing to call the Raiders to see what it would cost to move up to six. I mean, and based on what previous years have been like, I mean, going from 10 to 6 might only cost you a second.
Hmm. And I honestly, I don't think the Saints will take him. I think with a new head coach, I think that they just proved last year with a running back. Not that people had totally written off in Saquon Barkley, but definitely a more veteran type of running back.
You mean
I
Alvin
think,
Kamara?
yeah. Well, I'm saying last year with Kellen Moore in Philly
Oh,
when they
okay,
had
okay. I'm sorry.
Saquon. I'm saying I think he might be looking to recreate a little bit of that magic, especially when they have Kamara on a contract already. But as far as the Raiders go, I think that Genty is a great player and is definitely worth the number 6 pick. Selfishly, because I want the Bears to draft him at 10, I think the Raiders have a lot of other holes that they still need to fill on their roster. And despite getting Geno Smith this offseason, I know they have a bad running room. Like their running back room was not good last year, but
Mm-mm.
they have a high second round pick. And I would not be surprised if, with Pete Carroll in the building, they look to address the trenches and Genty falls to us towards 10. So I'd be a little bit weary to move up to 6 to get Genty.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from. It's just, I mean, when Pete Carroll arrived in Seattle, one of the first moves that he made was trading for Marshawn Lynch to shore up the running room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not disclaiming your claim. I'm just presenting things
Yeah.
that we've known about Pete Carroll so far that might make him want to do that again. Now Will Campbell, I believe, has a visit. It's not like I found this the list so far on sportsmockery.com, which is a website you can sometimes trust and sometimes not trust. But confirmed visits so far are most of the guys on this list. But I believe I read somewhere that Will Campbell has a confirmed visit. He played at LSU, and we actually have both talked about how we both see him as a guard, but I have honestly changed my tune on that after seeing a reporter ask him about his arm length, and here's what he said. Quote, for 2 years, nobody had measured any measurements on me, and nobody said anything about my play, so now all of a sudden, arm length decides if I'm a good player or not. I think it's BS, end quote. So, if if he's there at 10 and the Bears think that he could be an upgrade over current left tackle Braxton Jones, I would welcome the pick if Genty was gone. And I, I don't know if there's, I mean, the Jets might need a tackle, but so,
Patriots.
yeah,
I
but would you,
something tells me Will Campbell won't be there for us at 10, but I could be wrong. Obviously,
I'm not, I'm okay with it,
this draft is difficult to predict because there's not like we do have the quarterbacks at the top, but there isn't like I feel like in the last couple of years
sure talent
we've had like
at the
4 or 5
top.
quarterbacks who we knew like last year we knew at this point pretty much that it was going to be 1, 2, 3 those 3 quarterbacks. I feel
Yeah,
like at this point you could still tell me that Abdul Carter would go top 3, Travis Hunter like
yeah. I think it's I mean I mean if I had to guess, I would say it'd be Cam Ward to Tennessee. Uh, um, well,
I just don't
I don't actually think
it depends what
that
Cleveland thinks about Shador
that
Sanders.
Shador Sanders goes to Cleveland. I would, to be honest with you, here's what I would do. I would pair Miles
Carter,
Garrett and
yeah,
Abdul Carter with that. I mean, now let me be clear on this. I would have also not paid Miles Garrett the 120
60.
60 $60 million contract that he got, because although he is the quarterback of the defense, he's not he's not worth quarterback money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But I mean, having a combo like that
Yeah,
is
it's a game
lethal.
changer.
Is lethal. So I mean, I think that's what you do, and then I think that the Giants would be smart to take uh, Shedeur Sanders,
I don't think they will.
even though they have paid both uh, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston.
See,
Uh,
I think they go Travis at 3, pretty much regardless, unless he goes in front of them. Because
okay,
I think that
yeah, I could see
just to
that,
continue because then you look 1 year down the road and next year's quarterback class is a lot better. Like people are really high on Drew Aller, you're really high on
but
Archie Manning, and if they wait 1 more year, they have now Neighbors and Hunter. We'll see what he is as a receiver versus corner, but you just continue to
yeah.
stack talent.
So let me ask you, out of the top, I mean, so when you get out of the top three, I wouldn't exactly say that there's a a, a big there's a big gap for the team that needs a quarterback after that.
Someone would need to trade up for Shadur after that point. I think for him to get drafted within the top 10.
Okay, then let me ask let me run the scenario here. So the, the Steelers have a gaping hole at quarterback right now,
Mm-hmm.
and they are reportedly in on Aaron Rodgers. But if Shadur Sanders is somehow available at 10, and the Steelers come calling the Bears, would you be willing to trade down that far?
I mean, it always just depends on what the compensation is. Like otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it would take. I'm not familiar with that type of 10 plus spot move
Yeah,
up in the middle of the
you're
first
not
round.
familiar with the like Jimmy Johnson trade
I don't know what
board.
the compensation
Yeah,
type would be for that.
I don't know I don't know that much that about the Jimmy Johnson trade board either, but I would imagine it would at least take a first round draft.
Yeah, I mean somewhere within that range, especially quarterback premium is obviously something that gets taken into account. Like if you're trading up to draft a quarterback, you got to give up a little bit more than if you're drafting a skill
Yeah,
position or any
yeah,
guy.
but honestly, if Aaron Rodgers finally decides
I mean, I don't know where else he'd go besides.
to sign with the Steelers, I mean, Shadur Sanders would have a great mentor in terms of production at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about person per
Yeah.
se, but production and knowing the game of football. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think there's many guys better. I mean Aaron Rodgers learned from Brett Favre, and then you know became a pro, and then he showed
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love the ropes. But let's get back on topic here. We're trying to. I kind of went off topic a little bit there. So the next confirmed visit is Josh Connerly. Ryan Polis has said that he wants to bring in competition for Braxton Jones, and Connerly sounds like a great option for the Bears at at 39 if he's available. So if the Bears decided to go edge at 10, or possibly a trade down maybe if uh, you know Shadur is somehow available at 10. Uh, you know, I think that Connerly would be a great second round option, and maybe if we traded down that far, I I mean he's not on the list, but he could be on the list in the near future. If we got down to 21 and Omari Hampton is
Mm-hmm.
available, I would probably just take him at that spot because I don't think you could wait until 39 for a guy like
No,
him.
it seems like Hampton is pretty much firmly moved into mid to late first
Late
round.
first round, and
Yeah,
then
I've even seen Hampton as high as the Cowboys at 15 or 14, whatever they're at.
14.
Yeah,
But well, that's
it
because
depends on if JT.
that's honestly because they're desperate, probably.
Yeah, they do need a running attack.
But if Hampton isn't on the list yet, but I would expect him to be in the near future, or at least get a private workout because Ben Johnson uh, did play college ball at North Carolina, so I
Mhm.
would assume that he knows some people that are still there, even though it looks like the whole uh, team is revamped under Bill Belichick. But I mean, he went to college here. He's got to know some people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the next one that's confirmed is Isaiah Bond. The Bears have their yak guy in DJ Moore and their big body in Rome Dunze. The thing that they are missing is a long-term deep threat, and I say long-term because the Bears did sign
Olave.
Olamide Zacchaeus. I am positive that I just butchered his name. But he only signed a 1 year deal for under $2 million. So that was a great signing for a year. But Bond would fit the long term deep threat mold to a T. Bond averaged 15.9 yards in his final season with the Longhorns, with the Texas Longhorns. If he is there at 72, that would be someone the Bears should consider and maybe even run to the podium for.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I I mean, Bond didn't have great stats because of the other targets that were in uh, Texas. So I mean, people might not even look at him until the third round.
Yeah, and I mean, he didn't have. I know he went out and said he was going to break the
Yeah,
40 yard
that's
dash. He didn't do that, but he has been a guy who's extremely productive and seems to come up in clutch moments the
but he
last two
was able
years at
to
Alabama and Texas.
he was able to uh improve on his 40-yard dash at his pro day. I think it was like a 4.4 uh, at the combine, and I think he got it to like a 4.35 at his pro day or something
Yeah,
like
and I
that.
mean he's a very consistent. Like you mentioned, like Texas last year, Quinn Ewers kind of had a down year. Arch Manning had a spot start a couple games,
Mhm.
and they also had Matthew Golden, Gunnar Helm. They had their running back duo in Jaden Blue and why am I forgetting their other running back's name? Anyways, I watched a lot of Texas football. My sister went to Texas, so Isaiah Bond's a good player.
Okay, so the next one is actually kind of interesting for me at least. Brashard Smith. And I say that this is interesting because up until last year, Smith was a receiver, but he transitioned to running back this past season had over 1,300 yards. Um, I am using this from a website that I found the list. He does lack instinct and vision, which is to be expected with him only having 1 year as a running back, but he did make it up with speed and agility, taking advantage of every hole the defense allowed him to have. Uh, this would be a possible. This would be a name to watch for a possible DeAndre Swift replacement. I just don't know if they'll move on from him yet.
Yeah, I have no idea. Where did you go to college? Do you know?
Uh, SMU.
SMU. Okay. The only thing I worry about is that the two things they said are his weaknesses are like exactly what DeAndre Swift's weaknesses are.
Mhm.
So it's like,
I mean, maybe Ben Johnson sees him as a receiver.
yeah, you never know. But maybe he just needs more time with the position. But anyways, you never know. I
But
think we.
also we do have Eric Bieniemy as a
Mhm.
running backs coach. Now, I'm sorry that I keep interrupting you.
No, you're
I'm
okay.
just trying to I'm not necessarily trying to justify this as
Mhm.
being a. I mean this would be a pick I'd be comfortable with in like the fifth round
Yeah,
if
and
I was.
to be honest, where there's smoke, there's fire, and it seems like they're meeting with a lot of offensive linemen and running backs. So I think that's something that Bears fans need to keep an eye on. Not that we didn't know that already. That's what we were looking for,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, I just the thing that I've noticed about this list so far is they're not necessarily meeting with or at least don't have meetings with the top offensive linemen yet, and that's honestly kind of okay with me because we did revamp the whole entire interior
mhm.
offensive line, so you could wait until the second round to get a, a guy to compete with Braxton for left tackle. and you probably could, you know, go without a Tyler Booker
Mm-hmm.
or Zabel.
Stable, yeah.
But honestly, I would still love them to be on the list for top 30 visits.
Mm-hmm.
So the next guy, finally, we've actually got someone on defense. I mean, so far the whole list is offense, which I'm also completely okay with. But his name is Nick Martin. Martin fits the kind of linebacker that our new DC Dennis Allen likes. I see this as, a Jack Sanborn replacement and a special team contributor. I see him as a mid-round pick. I looked up his stats. He played in 34 total games over 3 years at Oklahoma State. He had 119 solo tackles and 76 assisted tackles with 7 sacks. I mean, that just screams a special teams contributor to me.
Mm-hmm. And you never know how guys develop, but I just don't know enough about some of these guys to make
Sure,
too much. I don't want to make an uneducated claim about somebody that
you don't know.
I could just be totally off about, and they end up being like the next Aaron Donald, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
bullshit. So,
Well, Aaron Donald's a defensive tackle.
well,
This guy's
hey, the Aaron Donald of linebackers, you know what I
okay.
mean?
Sure. So the last guy on this list is a guy that is in the first round, or should be at least. Tyler Warren. Ben Johnson likes to run a lot of 12 personnel, and the Bears already have Cole Kmet, but they don't have a great tight end number 2. Warren has also been called the perfect person for Ben Johnson's offense, and Warren is focused on only a few teams when it comes to who he wants to draft him. The tight end only plans to work out privately with 3 teams. Uh, those 3 teams being the Bears, the New York Jets, and the Indianapolis Colts. Uh, Warren can create mismatches wherever he lines up and has very strong hands. He is not the most explosive, but he has enough speed to keep the defense on their heels. He also isn't the greatest blocker, which he will need to improve on because Ben Johnson has said no block, no rock. But with all the great coaches that we have, I think Warren could improve. But the thing about where he plans to work out, that ranges from pick 7 to pick 14. The New York Jets have number 7, we have number 10, and the Indianapolis Colts have 14 or 15. I think 14, but I'm kind of blanking right now. So I mean, he knows where he wants to be picked, but that doesn't guarantee you're going to get picked at that spot. That's the thing about the draft. You might know where you want to go, but it's not, the team has to like you to pick you.
I do see what I'm sure thinking is he will not fall past Indianapolis. They are the perfect fit for Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's gotten some like Gronk comps here and there,
Really?
and I
I
know,
haven't seen that.
and I know Brock Bowers was very high on the Colts list last year. They didn't end up being able to select him, but I think that unless like some random scenario where somebody that we all assume is a top 5 draft pick slid to Indianapolis pick and is there next to Tyler Warren, I think Tyler Warren will be their pick. So I do get it. It's a risky move to play, like you said, because things can fall later in the draft. But
it's just weird. Like, I mean, last year, we went all the way to what, pick 15 before there was a defensive player. Because the first defensive player was actually Leitu Latu, who got picked by the Indianapolis Colts. So 14 picks before that was all offense, which I did not expect. I thought that there was going to be, I thought that the Falcons would take a defensive player. I thought that they were in prime position to take the best edge in the draft, whether that was Leitu Latu or Dallas Turner. But I think it was Dallas Turner. But I mean,
well, it ended up really being Jared Verse.
Yeah, because he won defensive rookie of the year, right? Yeah, okay. So before we end this off on a mock draft, I read a story and also watched a podcast a couple days ago about what kind of scheme that the Bears will be running on offense, and it's a wide zone scheme. Uh, I believe that I read or heard, and that actually is what type of offense that Luke Getzey ran when he was the offensive coordinator. And no matter how bad he was as an offensive play caller, that was a really good system to run, and I'm kind of glad that they're going back to something that has been strong with them in the past, at least.
Mhm.
I mean, I hope that it works out for DeAndre Swift in that way, because I really do believe that he can be a good running back. He just needs to be in the right scheme and be behind the right offensive line. And in my personal opinion, he is finally behind the right offensive line in Chicago. At least he was behind the right offensive line in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
Um, and finally, the Bears fixed that with all the acquisitions that they have made this year. But what are your thoughts on them deciding to run a wide zone scheme?
Yeah, definitely something that's been popular around the league since Kyle Shanahan sort of started to take over in Atlanta and San Francisco. Definitely plays to DeAndre Swift's strengths. He's always been better on the outside, where he has a little bit less of a responsibility to be reading gaps. The gaps are kind of what the gaps are in this type of system. So I think hopefully that it will be something that will be easy for not only DeAndre but Caleb to grasp in year one under this system. I just don't want to start off the year terribly and then be able to
I don't
test
think
him.
anyone wants that. I
But
mean, we've always started out so terribly that we're just like, by mid-season we give up
mhm,
because, and I'm hoping, I'm sure that all fans are hoping that, this year is going to be different with the star-studded offense or staff that we have,
mhm,
and honestly, star-studded offense that we at least look to have, because you know last year what we had on paper didn't necessarily translate to the field, but again we had a bottom 30 uh, uh, offensive line, and at least right now on paper it finally looks like we would have a top 12
mhm.
offensive line. I don't want to say top 10 yet. I wanted to get us in the like over top 15, but I don't want to say top 10 when it's not even the draft yet.
Yeah, haven't seen anything happen yet.
So let's get into mock draft really quickly before we end this off. I should have actually pulled that up before we started, just so I had it available, but I didn't. So let's make sure that this is all taken care of. Oh, I gotta choose the team first. Choose.
I think I share the screen too, right?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I'm just gonna get into the
Gotcha.
draft first. All right, share screen here. One of the things that I make sure to do when we do this is only have like a couple of tabs open, because I always have so many tabs open when I'm not doing podcasts. So I always close my uh, browser and then just reopen it to start a podcast.
Where did
Okay.
Matthew Golden go?
Okay. So Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders went 1 and 2. Travis Hunter and Ashton Genty went 3 and 4. Really, is a running back really a big need for the Patriots?
Didn't they just sign Ramondre?
They signed him like a couple of years ago. Uh, Mason Graham went 5. Armand Membu went 6. Okay, no way in tarnation Abdul Carter makes it to 7.
Yeah, unless he has a Laramie Tunsil draft day experience, I don't see that happening. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, where he
Yeah,
was smoking weed or pot,
yeah.
or what?
He was doing things he shouldn't have been doing.
I get Campbell to the Patriot, to the not to the Panthers to protect Bryce Young, but what, seriously, why is Matthew Golden getting taken here? I mean, what are his
I don't. Maybe you got some weird setting on. I don't know.
I haven't messed with any set. And when you look at his stats, that's not great stats. You almost get 1,000 yards your junior year, but under 500 your sophomore year, and under 600 your freshman year. I mean, oh my God. I I wouldn't take a guy this early. In fact, I would actually take
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
guy that's available before I take Matthew Golden. In
Yeah,
fact, let me actually look at his stats to see how he is. I mean, he's got far better receiving yards, far better receptions, and far better targets.
and a better breakout age. Like, he broke out as a sophomore. You could really say he broke out as a freshman, honestly.
26 touchdowns compared to what was it? Like, I'm sorry, I have to look at the compared to 15,
22.
15 to 20. Okay, that's not that much of a difference. But the thing is here, there is no way or in all fairness, I don't think that
Yeah.
T Mac will be available at 10, so I kind of don't want to do it.
No, I don't think the Bears would do that.
What would you do here?
Who else is available behind these guys? No, it's okay.
I keep
Tyler Warren, Calgary Starks, Mike Green. You could take Mike Green and see what it would be like to take an edge guy.
Yeah, we've talked about it. We need an edge, so I'll do that, and we could take a if Bond is available at 72, I would do that.
Yeah, we'll see how it likes that, because we were talking about. And it's Connolly got taken 2 picks ahead of us.
Okay, let's look at that. I don't necessarily think that there's going to be any great options. Well, see, I can't justify taking a 39 a guy at 39 that's ranked 60. Oh my God, Nick Sorkin. Let's look at running backs, because that's something that we probably should look at.
Everything's like a trade back.
Yeah, I think we could probably wait until 41 to look at a trade back for Junkins or Scadaboo, honestly. And honestly, Scadaboo wouldn't be that bad of an option, because the thing about Scadaboo is he ran a 4.65 at his pro day, and people were writing him off because of that. But the thing about when
that's not even terrible.
That's not terrible, first of all, and the other thing is when the Lions had Gibbs and Montgomery ran a 4.63, so that's not much of a difference. But what could we look at here? Would you look at receiver, or?
I feel like you just kind of got to go best available something here.
But it's all defense. I
know.
I don't know if we could take a safety, because we do need a safety. And I've heard that I've seen Watts go to the Bears for some.
I'll take him.
So let's just,
it's a need.
It's a need.
We can try and trade down a little bit here if we want to get trade down to 55 range and get one of the running backs who's available.
Let's see what. I don't want to do Dallas, because they wouldn't.
Yeah, they're too early.
I don't really want to do. This feels wrong, because it's okay. I'm gonna go to Buffalo, because it feels too wrong to ask Green Bay for a trade. So
maybe ask for 56 and 62 for 41.
We could try. That's probably a 8% chance.
We could offer 148 as well.
34, but would you do 72 for 56 and 62? Because that
no, moving back 15 to only move up 10 the next time.
Okay. Well, 56. Okay. Well,
we can get our own. We could just do 56 and 109 for 41. Get our own.
This trade will likely. Okay. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
That's okay. Okay. And then okay, let's see what seriously, what is wrong? What
I don't know.
we did this last week, and this guy was available till 73. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm not going to take him because it's there seems to be something wrong with him. But let's look at running backs.
Scadaboo's still there.
Yeah, let's just take Scadaboo because that I feel like that's a good combo.
And you wanted to recoup a pick too. Oh, Dylan Sampson's still there at 72. Obviously, don't need a
I
running
don't
back
I
anymore.
don't think that.
No, don't need one anymore. I'm just
Okay, what now? What now? You want to look at offensive tackle
we can look at
or?
wide receiver too if you wanted to see if what's his face was there, Isaiah Bond.
Oh yeah, let's look at that.
I doubt it.
Let me.
PFF likes Bond.
I'll type in his name, but
Oh no, they don't like Bond. They have him at 109.
109. I mean,
We have
we have
110
109, but I
and
don't
one.
know if that's no, we don't have 110. It's
Oh,
109.
109. Gotcha.
I mean, would you risk waiting for that?
Yeah, I mean, who else is here right now?
Let's go to all. Or all. It's on all. I'm sorry. I mean, wait. Let me look at our. I mean, we could use a backup tight end, and I've heard that Taylor is somewhat decent.
Is he?
I mean, well, actually, let me look at his stats so I can actually confirm that. Well, I mean, but really, I don't think that what's it, Ben Johnson uses his second tight end a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I don't know if I could justify drafting a guy in the third round with
We could go with Alfred Collins.
That's a guy that I've actually seen people talk about for him. Let me look at him. I haven't looked at him a lot.
I mean, he was a very productive player last year. Obviously, only one sack as an interior player, but
I mean, his grade went up every year, which honestly, I mean, it started at 68, which is in the green, so that's great. Went up to 79 and then 87. I mean, it keeps improving. So I'd look at that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And then we focus on offense to round out the draft because we already have 3 defensive players now, so we can take.
Hopefully, I'm gonna look up Bond.
Yep.
Let's just take him just because that's where he's ranked, and
we talked about it.
We talked about it, and Ryan Poles has in the past relied on his top 30 visits to take a lot of his players. Now, you know, I'm hoping that his hit rate after the third round or starting with the third round starts to improve with Ben Johnson. But and then okay, so we have 3 picks left. I'm not in the full draft, so I don't know what who got taken. Let's look at some offensive linemen to maybe compete. I don't know. Is Jones a tackle? I thought he was a guard. Oh no, I'm thinking of Miles. One of the interior guys for LSU. But let me actually put.
Well, who's best available right now?
Best available
besides the 2 quarterbacks.
Besides the 2 quarterbacks, tight end.
Tight ends, yeah. I mean, you do need the backup tight end still.
I'd probably go with
Mitchell Evans.
No, I'd actually probably go with the guy from Georgia, just because he's.
Mitchell Evans, I think he had decent stats though.
All right, let me look at both of them, and I'll just take the guy with better stats.
It's pretty terrible.
That actually is pretty terrible. I'm just basing it off of the fact that Georgia always seems to bring in good guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, definitely the guy that Notre Dame has, which is actually kind of cool because Cole Kmet came from Notre Dame, so I'll take him. And he was his spot was a little after where we picked, so I think it should give us at least a B for that pick, hopefully. What would you look at here?
Like a tackle project, but the problem is I don't know about any tackle projects in the second round.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're doing here. Let me look at let me look at interior, because there are a couple guys that I know
Josh
of.
Gray, I know we talked
Joshua
about.
Gray.
Let's just take him. I mean,
Let's yeah, I
someone we know
mean,
about.
someone we know about, and is there's one guy that I want to just search here. Oh, wrong. Uh, oh no, someone took him. I was looking for Jonah Mannheim, the center for USC, just to give Caleb someone that he's familiar with
Yeah.
for future. But also, I do believe that what's his name, Drew Dahlman will be here for a long time. So I'm okay with that. I mean, we could look at CB just because of the fact that
Never
we don't
know.
know about
Yeah.
Tyreek Stevenson.
That's
But I don't.
that's a pretty sick name. I said we just take him. Fentrell Cypress the second. I mean,
And he's from Florida State. I mean, Florida State did give us Jalen Ramsey, 15 years ago. But I mean, again, we don't know when you get to probably the fifth to sixth round, you're you're just
and
taking
hey, they
people.
even gave us an A for Mike Green still, even though we
Yeah,
technically reached on
it
him.
says to draft Tetro McMillian, or that is probably the closest I will ever actually get to saying his actual name, because I'm gonna refer to him as T Mac. But I mean, you get an A for Mike Green. We probably would have gotten an A plus if we did take T Mac, but we don't need a third receiver in the first when you have DJ Moore and Roma Dunze, and then we got a B plus for Xavier Watts. I like that.
I wish they graded the trades too.
I wish that too, because I would really love to see what they would give us for this. I mean, I think we won that. I mean, it's 15 spots, and we probably could have gotten a third.
But we got the guy we wanted. We recouped our own pick, and
yeah,
and then we got the guy we wanted later on at 109 with the pick we traded.
Yeah,
for, so.
I mean, now see, I don't like this because we drafted him at the spot that he was supposed to be drafted at.
It's all about
plus for
need and like what they assess as our need. And
but I mean, you look at this. We got. I mean,
we filled everything by the time.
We technically got an A or better, or around an A for the better, first. Yeah. For our first 4 picks, we got a C plus for Isaiah Bond. I don't really care because I mean, with what he will be able to contribute for us, sounds good enough for me. And we got a backup tight end, and both of them are from Notre Dame. With Cole Kmet and Mitchell Evans. We'll see if he even plays. And then Joshua Gray, we've talked about him for a while, or for the last couple of weeks. And then Fentrell Cypress the second. I mean, you were the one that
I just like his name, guys. I don't know anything about him.
Let's actually. I don't know what's in a grade, so let's.
Yeah, player position value team needs.
The thing, I agree with you. They should add in grading trades, because when you watch the draft, don't the people that like do you cover the draft, don't they talk about what the value of it? Here, I'm gonna stop sharing because we're so I mean, I think that we filled all the needs that we needed, and
I think that was our best graded mock draft that we've done as well out of the last 3 that
I
done
think
together.
we got 2 B's last week,
and that was a B plus,
and then that was a B plus, and I'm pretty sure when we looked at draft ranks, it was top 48, top 43, and this is top 39%. So I mean, yeah, this is as far as
how PFF likes what we've done.
Yeah, and in all fairness, the amount of stuff that we know about the draft class that we just did, it stops when we get to Mitchell Evans. I don't know anything about the last 3 besides the fact that it was that I think our assistant line coach coached Gray at Oregon State, or maybe it was Oklahoma State. It was one of the. It's one of the ones that has orange in their color scheme. But I don't know anything about Fentrell Cypress the second. But that is a badass name.
I mean, it's pretty.
So,
sick.
I mean, if we could literally end round 4 with, how we ended round 4 with Mike Green, Xavier Watts, Cam Scadaboo, Alfred Collins, and Isaiah Bond, I would call that a successful draft.
For sure.
I don't think that it's going to end exactly like this, but if we could get something very similar to this, I will give Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson a round of applause for their their first draft together. And who knows if this is what the first 4 rounds is like, you might want to we might have to give Ryan Poles a year of redemption.
Mm-hmm. That would be a very stellar start to the draft.
And then we would know that it was more of Matt Eberflus than Ryan Poles, messing around with the third round and all that stuff. But we don't know that yet. We still gotta wait, 26 days, to figure that out, because the first round's the night 1, night 2 is 2 and 3, and then the rest is day 3. So I think that's going to be all for us today. I hope that you have a great birthday tonight. No matter what you end up doing, I hope you end up doing something, because, who wants to stay in on their birthday? But no matter what, I mean, you could always just watch a movie.
True.
For me, I've always just, said to my friends, hey, let's go see a movie or something, and we end up doing that. But have a great birthday.
Appreciate it.
And we'll see you guys next week, and it's going to probably be more of the same, sadly. But in I would say 2 weeks from now, I do plan on having my cousins on with us on a weekend, because when it comes to so when on Easter weekend, I'm going home and I'm probably going to be spending time with my family. So I think we might skip a podcast that was when we were planning on having the cousins, but I didn't realize when Easter was. So I need to contact them and see if they could do it a week earlier, but we'll figure that out. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully the top 30 list visit grows a little bit, or something happens in terms of Bears news, so we don't have a bored podcast. But we'll figure something out. So,
all right, see you, everybody.
See ya.